Yes, we are back.
I hope everybody missed us horribly. They just
Our
couldn't believe that we're not here and we were off for 3 weeks. I want to say I think we may have mentioned this before. We're okay. I know I've mentioned this part. We're on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Thank you for that. And we're gonna have special guests who are gonna do bonus episodes that we're gonna put on Apple Podcasts so you can listen to them and when you're working out or you're in the car or you feel like it, whatever. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there.
Thank
How
you.
are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Did you do something fun for the 3 weeks?
Yes. It was a
You
good,
did.
like August was good. I I am just in utter shock that August is over and we're in September and the year. I literally I know I said it a lot when I was like sending emails stuff like where did the summer go? But seriously, freakish, right? Like
It is. And I can't believe, and I don't want to say the Christmas word. And I
no, no,
just,
no, no,
um, you know what I
no.
mean? So the holidays are around the corner. So it's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna put my pet peeve of the day. It's not gonna be about LinkedIn this time. It's gonna be about um pumpkin spice in August in Starbucks is an unacceptable thing. August? There are no pumpkins in
Really?
August. No. No, I don't like it anyway, so I don't care. But no, at least wait for September.
No kidding. It's still hot outside.
Well, you live in Vegas; it's hot all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You get like 2 months maybe of cold weather around here.
Right, right.
Hello, Heather from New York City.
Hello, Heather. All right, let's get started because we've been waiting 3 weeks for this. We had one of our biggest. I'm so proud of everybody that said they accepted on LinkedIn. It was one of the biggest acceptance, record high levels of acceptance, which is exciting because we love that, and I spent a lot of time doing that, so I appreciate it. But let's get started. Welcome to the Glass House, everybody. The Glass House is where we look at business from the inside and the outside to expose the gap between what's embedded and as we know, what's embodied. I'm Shara Halixer, founder and chief momentum officer of Engage.
And I am Daisy Watkins, founder of BW Concepts and LumaPath.ai. I always say in business today, if AI doesn't see it today, you don't exist.
We again want to thank you for being here today. We know you have loads of options. You chose us. We don't take that lightly. We love to hear from you. We want to know who's on with us because now I'll bitch about LinkedIn. They don't tell you who's on. So I had to get one bitch about LinkedIn. We read your comments. We want to share your comments, your reactions. We'd love to try to make this as much of a conversation as possible and not just a broadcast. So, let's kick it off. It is the Wednesday before Labor Day. So again, thank you for coming because I know half of you are either already gone or the other half are maybe pretending because the long weekend's coming. That's for our US folks, the unofficial end of summer. And we typically our guests bring something really strong and really real. So we wanted to just make it me and Daisy this time so we didn't kind of waste that time. I don't mean to say waste, but we wanted to save the time for a guest who is going to really be powerful. So we'll be back with a guest next week. And I think it's important to say that you are getting season 2. Oh my gosh. Episode 1 with the people who have been asking everybody else the hard questions. So we're going to start answering some as well. If you have questions for us, please put them in the chat. We'd love to do it. And we're going to have some fun here as well today. Okay. I am going to start with a joke that I have told a million times. Okay, Daisy's already laughing because she's heard it 1,000 times, but it's really funny. So, look, we talk about AI, right? And everybody's gloom and doom. The world is coming to an end. The planes are going to fall from the sky. Oh, that was Y2K. But everything's going to end. Society's going to be over. Da 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 da. Right? I know this to be true. Okay, I wasn't there. I'm not that old, but like think back caveman times, right? Some cave person goes into the cave and goes, ooh, 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 and holds up a wheel. And somebody sitting in the back of the room goes, holy crap, that's going to ruin the entire world. Our society is over, right? And I say that because I think that that's always what happened. I remember with email, oh, that's the end. Nobody's going to ever talk again. I remember the fax machine. I remember we had a fax machine. People said, oh my God, that's the end. You're going to forge documents. It's going to be the end of the world. Even the telephone, the television, everything that we do, this is what happens, right? And so I thought it was really important to talk about the fact, because we talk about AI a lot. We talk about the way that we love it, we use it, right? And we hate it sometimes, right? And it's everybody always has that guy, that person that's like, this is the end, right? And so we really want to make sure that we're talking about it in the right way. And I see it, I see we come through it, right? So I don't know. I think that maybe what the person's arguing about is not necessarily the wheel or the tool, right? But it's something else. It's motivation, right? It's the idea that they don't want to change. They don't want something to be different. They want to do the thing the way they've always done it. I think that's what this is all about. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. We're all creatures of habit. That's what we do, right? And so, especially if you're working in an office environment, right? So if like you go in, you got your coffee in your hand, you sit down, turn on your computer, and then you chit chat with whoever your next door neighbor is at work, whatever it is. You have a routine, you have a pattern, and so when change is introduced or a nice shiny object is introduced, all of a sudden psychologically you're like, there's a disruption in the pattern, and so people don't know how to address it or how they feel about it. It's really more about how are they going to accept it, because one, I think it's more of they don't know what this wheel can do in your story, right? Or what this wheel can potentially do in the future. So it's really all about education and really how do we get the people to embrace the change.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And so tell me, how do you read it, right? How do you read that person?
So for what you do is you read the inside part of things, right? So my read is the version of him is basically that he's now gone public about it, right? So because here's what happens on the side, a company that's for me, an example would be a company would spends a fortune telling the world who it is, right? And then I have a polished site, the mission statement, and they're AI forward and the post, same things that are happening internally for the change that you're looking at, right? And in the meanwhile, the market and the machines have already drawn their own conclusions about the particular company or brand, but nobody in the inside was checking about what the outside is saying. They continue to do the things internally without letting the public know really about what the good things that are changing in their organization, right? So there's a gap between what the company claims in the inside versus what the machine decides they're going to be. So that's the world that I live in, as in the whole world. So
yeah, and I think that's the shape of today, right? And we are two people who spend all day looking at that distance between these things, right? Correct. This is kind of how we came together, because it wouldn't be logical that we would host a podcast together. It's a podcast now. We're on Apple. It's a podcast. So I'm so excited about that. I'm not getting over that. So I think what's going to be fun today is that we're going to point this at us today. This is all going to be about us and what are the things that we've done and how we've done them and kind of how we got there. So I love the idea. And by the way, Alan just told us he's buying his Halloween costume. So we want pictures, please. Or Alan, I share pictures of you because I have them. And Heather's, and this is why Heather's my friend, because she doesn't like pumpkin spice either. So I think that's appropriate. So we're going to do a couple of fun things. We're going to do 2 truths and a lie later. And Daisy didn't finish reading some stuff. She's going to share some stuff that later as well. We're going to do a segment, another segment that we're going to ask Daisy about. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We really want you to put your questions, your comments, your ideas, whatever in the chat, and we'll definitely get to them as well.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, so to everybody who who rode all 27 episodes of season 1 with us. Thank you. And one particular person, Heather, um, who's showed up for us every single episode. We love you, and who's also been our guest a couple of times. So thank you so much. And all the others that listened to us after also. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge that. We would not have season 2 without all of you. So you showed up, you argued with us in some comments, you made some conversations instead of, you made this a conversation instead of just a broadcast. And that's really the purpose of this. We want it to be very conversational and show some value to, that the guests are providing to and what they do. So we took the summer to breathe, and honestly, we missed you. So whenever you're watching from, please drop your city. I know Heather's already said what city she's from. Let us know if you're back in the room for the new season. It's the same 2 of us, the same promise, real conversations, no polish, no spins. And so today's going to be really fun because you get to know us a little bit more, and we already started off being goofy, although we're goofy most of the time.
Always goofy. Yeah.
But this one will be just a lot more personal stuff that we're sharing, even though we do that also on our regular podcast. But it's just really knowing about us, what we do, because I don't think we've had the time to really, for you to get to know us a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's great. So we're going to also, though, make this a little more participatory. We're going to play a little game right now. We'd like all of you to open your favorite LLM, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. What's the Gemini? What's the other one? What am I forgetting?
Claude.
I said Claude. Perplexity.
Oh, Google AI, and then
Okay. Open it up, because we're going to give it some time to cook, because we're going to come back to this a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever one you use, whatever you like, it doesn't matter. And ask this exact question: what do you know about me and my company or business? Okay. What do you know about me or my business, my company? And we're going to please add them into the comments. We're going to read them. And we want to know how much of it is true, right? We've talked about this a lot throughout the first season. Make sure you're doing it for yourself so that you know what AI is talking about, right? If you own a business, you can put in that business name as well. But the thing is, if it was true a couple of years ago, it might not be true today. We need to make sure that, we want to help you make sure that the world of AI is telling the truth.
Excellent. Good segue. All right.
So Daisy, I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right. So I'm going to do a screen share here right now. And so what she has asked you to do is prepare yourself to use a browser, really. And
tell me when you're ready to screen. And Daisy, can we do this? We're going to do what we just asked you to do for another business. Could we do a friend of mine's business? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, here we are. So you can see my screen.
All right. So walk us through, though. You're doing this in incognito mode, or does that matter?
Yeah, so it does matter. So what's really important is, like, if you are going to AI yourself or Google yourself in the AI mode, it needs not. So number one, if you're going to do it on Google, make sure it doesn't have any of your history. It recognizes your browser searches and stuff like that. It knows who you are even on your browser. But the most important thing is even if you're going to AI yourself within your tool, please make sure you're not logged in and you're using the free version. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how that's done right now. If you do AI yourself in your own LLM that knows everything about you and your business and how wonderful your business is, of course it's going to recommend you and yourself, right? And so make sure it's a non-biased answer, that real people that don't know you, when they ask the question, it's what they're going to be seeing. So we're going to do that right now. So for those of you that know incognito mode or don't know incognito mode makes what it does is it filters or it blocks any of the searches that you've done in the past, delete any cache that you've had so it doesn't recognize or be biased about anything. So to do that, I am on Chrome. So I am going to click the 3 buttons on the very top right side, and I hit new incognito window.
Okay.
You're going to get another pop-up screen, another browser, and it's all going to be incognito, as the symbol symbolizes, which means it's blocked from all third-party cookies are blocked. It didn't save any of your browsing history. The intent is that so that it's the non-biased search and the results that come out. Another way that people do it is what they call the guest mode. So if you are, so here in your regular browser, and you go to where your login is, there is an open guest profile on Chrome.
Right.
All
I
right.
forgot about that.
So
Yeah.
in this one, you'll see the difference between the two is that this doesn't have any of my tabs, any of my bookmarks, any of that laying around here. You notice the differences. This one still kind of has it. So I tend to go to guest mode because it's cleaner, although this does the job as well. Because of what I do and constantly researching myself or getting where I am or my clients, I use this one. But for yourself, if you're just going to do it for the first time, incognito is just fine. So either or will work. All right. So once you're in here, it works obviously just like a regular browser, just with no history. So the first thing you want to do is use a free version of the LLM you want to use to what we call, this is like a multi-model. You want to always search, not just ChatGPT, you want to search all the models because each models have different things to say about you. And the way they pull the data is all very different from each other. All right, so we're going to do ChatGPT. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is let's ask about a company, which Shira, we're going to use your friend, and ask about what it says about the company or her brand or herself. So you can either ask, tell me about, or just simply type the name of the company. So in this case, I want ChatGPT to tell me about and give me the name of Maria's business.
It's AMO, gold and silver in Florence, Italy. If any of you are looking to buy jewelry, this is my dear friend, and she has beautiful things, and she has amazing prices, and this is not a commercial for her any way, shape, or form. She's just a dear friend, and I thought this would be fun.
So 2 ways you can search for yourself, and you can do this. I do this in both ways. So I just want to do ammo, gold and silver, right? Did I spell that right, Shira? Yep. Just to see immediately if it recognizes, number one, the brand. If it doesn't, then I go, okay, in Florence, because we know if she has made connections outside in other parts of the world, more likely people are going to say in Florence because they know that's where her shop is. So we're going to do it twice so that we can see the difference between the two. If it actually finds her as a company, as a brand, it did. Check that out, Shira. So just by putting her name, she showed up. Okay. It says, I'm not finding reliable match to Emma Silver under the exact name, right? So it does in the exact name, unrelated jewelry products. So I don't give you any information. If you mean the company, jewelry brand, store, investment, gold business, or specific, send me a link. So it kind of knows there is something out there, but I'm not quite sure if that's what you're looking for. That's what ChatGPT is pretty much telling us, Shira.
But like, that's not great, right? Because that didn't say. That's not good. Right. Okay. All right.
So it's now ChatGPT is now asking you which one are you asking about? Because I'm seeing a few things when I did the quick search, but tell me specifically so I can give you the right answer. That's what ChatGPT. So think about it. SEO is search engine optimization. You're searching for something. In AI, it's called AEO. The keywords itself is answer. Engine optimization. Are you an answer to the question? Search, keywords, answer. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to take this a whole nother level, and we're going to, let me just copy paste this. I have to type it. We're going to clear the chat. And now we're going to go. I'm going to paste the same thing, and now I'm going to go in Florence because now we're more hyper-focused. We're giving it a little bit more specific about who we're looking for. It's similar to how you would do a search. You would search for, looking for the let's say the Denny's in whatever location it is. In this case, because she's a store. So ChatGPT is taking a little longer to respond. Guess what? Look what?
Yay, that's it.
Right, there she is. Which means that ChatGPT has scoured the web to find her in every possible. It took a little while. Think about it too. Which means that he was searching to make sure that it gave us the right answer. She's looking specifically for this exact name. Here's the difference. No, I didn't even notice this. I typed in ammo, golden, silver instead of gold and silver. That's my error. But guess what? It still found her.
Right.
Because they combined the words gold, silver, and in Florence. That's the closest match. and she
Very
showed up
cool.
correct. She showed up correctly even with the wrong spelling.
Amazing.
Okay, so because she's defined, her name itself defines the product, the gold and silver that she sells, she was found. Now, the next thing as an owner of this brand is to look at whether AI is actually reading her properly.
Right.
Right. Then now if there's something that's off with how it's describing her, then it's an opportunity for businesses actually as an even playing field to make those changes. Now, how do you know where to make the change? If it's something you can control and you know where the content is written, it's through the sources. So in this case, if something's off in here that Maria finds, then she knows it's coming out of her website as the
Right.
source.
And it's also searching social media too, right?
Correct. And so here it says the source emphasizes on hands craftsmanship and Italian Florentine production. And if, as the owner of this, she would go, I never wrote this one, but guess what? Somebody wrote it for her.
Right.
Source. She has a source. So there's a Italia that IT, which means I don't know what it is in Italy, but it's really there was something written about her. She was in a publication somewhere that it pulled that information for her.
Very
Now,
cool.
because we're asking about jewelry, always ChatGPT says, is it worth visiting? And then it tells you exactly with whether they're already recommended or not. So in this case, ChatGPT now went on the agentic before. This was very, very recent, the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, it would just give you the facts and the information. Now it's offering you now recommendation based on what they've looked for. So in the bottom here, she's going good. I think they could be a good choice if you're looking for distinctive. So they have differentiator why they're recommending her. If she didn't have that, this would be blank right here.
Yeah.
So it validated her and they're basically recommending her already.
Okay. I love that.
So she doesn't need me. She's good.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So imagine the same thing. Now we're going to go to Gemini and I'm going to type in the name properly. Gemini, also make sure you're using the free version. Not using the free version will just screw you up. So we are looking for tell me about gold and silver. Oh, sorry. I'm going to put another name. Now we're going to do the same search to see the different how it differentiates the two.
Okay.
Guess what? Without the influence, it showed up. It shows as it's a boutique jewelry store.
Okay.
In the heart of Florence, Italy, and they're known for their craftsmanship and then their collections.
She has a Google business page, so
Google business profile. Yes,
and I would have pulled that up.
Correct. So it pulled it from there, but most especially, it's actually the main source is her own website.
Oh, fantastic!
And you know why that is? It pulled her website because her Google business profile is connected to her website.
Right.
Okay. So she showed up properly, even without influence. So two different things, the way we did it. Now we're going to go to Perplexity.
Now I'm looking at the comments. I don't see any new comments of anybody doing their thing. So I'm kind of hoping somebody does it and shares with what they got, if it was any good, because,
Absolutely.
If you don't want to, just tell us you don't want to. It's fine too.
Exactly. So the same thing, I'm going to ask the same question. You want to be consistent with the question to see how you show up across all the LLMs, right? So tell me about, gold and silver.
And which one are you on now? I can't tell.
I'm in Perplexity right now. Okay, so I'm just good at using the general model. The default model for Perplexity. And let's see if they show up. Perplexity will probably show up too with probably more details. Yep, it lays it out. Again, it recognized the collection. You've noticed the consistency. It recognized her collection here, but in ChatGPT, it also recognized her collection. That means that she structured her website to define. She has these selections and collection. Pricing is showing, so it's easy for me to decide as a human being, is it the price point that I want to spend at, right? Because you have to make decisions based on those factors.
Right.
Before buying. Again, there's some cautionary stuff. Make sure that you know exactly, you ask the right questions. And just like with everything else that we do, whether you purchase something or you're researching something, you have questions. So make sure that those questions are answered. And that's what AI is telling you, is that make sure you ask these questions, because I'm not familiar so much about, what's hallmarking, right? For jewelry. So those are one of the things I probably want to ask. So anyway, the more information you have, the better it is for them to say, these are the things that I found, but this is one of the things that perhaps I did not find or wasn't clear about. Hence why, let me tell you about these things, why I can't tell you. That's why I don't have it up here, but ask these questions anyway. That's really what AI is doing to tell you, right? So here it didn't really tell you what to look for, but it's also just asking you, are you looking for something? Then I can answer your question a lot better. And then here, same thing. If you're looking at this, it says, okay, now worth asking them are these things, but they give you different recommendations on what to ask and what to look for. So as you can tell, each LLM has different take on how they're presenting you and how they're representing you.
Amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you for doing that.
thank you.
Um, uh-oh. Heather had an issue. Chat found the right company. Perplexity said I couldn't find any reliable information. All right, Daisy, let's talk about that on the company name I added. So what does that mean when one versus the other
So
isn't fine?
which, yeah, so which means, so Heather, if you know, it's hard when you're not interacting. So it had on the source where it found you, what was the main source? And I can tell you exactly. And then the ones that didn't find you at all, which what that was off. Look at the source first, and then which is what I mean. If you can control where the source of that information is, then you can make the change to align with the other findings. So it also depends, right? So on what it read for you, if it just read your product and not about you, then you have to do something about your about you page or about you section. If it just read about you and not know about your products, but one site knew about your product, then there's something about that particular source, where that source came from, that's not AI legible, is what we call it. And it could be a lot of different things. I have to take a look at what you're seeing and where the disconnects are, or what we call the friction or the gaps are. So same thing with what I do in AEO, and the same thing with what Shira does. Shira looks for a lot of gaps in the inside, right? So she can help fix those gaps. Same thing on the outside. It's just very different nowadays compared to marketing hasn't changed. The way we do things hasn't changed. The way we sell, we talk to people, we still talk and network. That has not changed, even though AI is around. People think that AI will be able to, do all these things for us. No, you still have to physically show up at Pilates. You still have to physically show up somewhere, right? So nothing has changed. Some processes have changed. It's implemented AI. Same thing with marketing. Now there's just a new way of how you're found, and that's what we're trying to move towards. So that's what AI is.
So I have to, Alan is saying that you have a pro subscription of Claude. You went to Claude. Alan, did you follow the instructions and go incognito and go in without logging in? Because it said reasonably inferred, not confirmed. Your name may be Alan based on the cold email. Oh, there it is. And so it's basically not finding anything, but the question is that as you logged in, which would be even worse? Or is that you not logged in?
It's actually worse. It's not good if it's worse, if it's saying that about yourself, right? But opportunity for you to go, is it telling you the truth that you are missing these things, right? So it can be very painful. And sometimes you have to have ask the harsh questions so that you can fix something, just like anything in life, right? The truth is always harsher to hear, but it's an opportunity for change.
Okay, so let's move in really quickly to our next segment, because I think this is the perfect transition.
Yes.
We're going to do two truths and a lie, Glass House edition. And I'll go first because we thought this would be really fun. So we're not going to like read you our bios. You know who we are. If you don't, go to our LinkedIn pages. I hope you're following us, all that good stuff. And I wanted to do the Engage 3P edition. I wanted to do it, for my business. So if you are a follower, if you are reading my blog, hope you're reading my blog, then you might know the answer to these. So here are my 2 truths and a lie. And Daisy, you have to tell me which one, or everyone can say. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, I threw out a perfectly good dishwasher because I didn't know you have to put salt in it. 2, I still have a list of everything I was afraid of when I was 12 years old. 3, before I take on any transformation, I run a full stakeholder analysis, I build a risk register, and I work with the leadership team on both. Which one is a lie?
You've kept a list of the things that you're afraid of.
That's the lie?
Yeah.
You didn't read my blog.
No, I didn't have your blog, that's for sure.
I do have the list. It's actually a really, if you're interested, go to my blog. It's a really great story. It was, I was told to go to my room and write down, this is for my bat mitzvah, and I was told to write down everything I was afraid I would fail at. And I did, and it's in my scrapbook. And it created a really phenomenal way of me thinking about something that I'm afraid of doing, because I asked myself, what is the worst thing that can happen if? That's really what I was asked to do. And it's kind of how I go through everything now. And it makes me even more fearless than I think I naturally am, which is amazing.
Awesome. I definitely want to read that blog.
Yeah, I definitely.
Wow.
It's a really good one. There's a picture of the list. Alan, number 1, I thought the dishwasher. Wrong again, folks. Let me tell you how stupid this was. So I had a perfectly good dishwasher. And I did not know in the bottom of the dishwasher, in some dishwashers, you have to put salt. And because it wasn't working, and I knew it was a little bit old, but so I went and bought a new one. And then the guy came in and installed it. He goes, you have to put the salt. And I go, what salt? And he goes, the salt. And I go, what are you talking about, the salt? He goes, you put the salt. So a friend of mine was visiting, and she's like, yeah, you put the salt. In the grocery store, there are these like boxes of salt. It's like rock salt, and it goes in the bottom, and it helps. Like, I had no idea. Threw out the perfectly good dishwasher. Like, it probably was fine. Hadn't put salt in it in 4 years. So the reason the lie is number 3 is because, and this is what really kind of speaks to what I do and how I do it and what's important. I created Engage 3P and developed change embodiment because traditional change management, no offense to anybody who does it, doesn't work. I did it for years and it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because it's focused on the thing that is changing, the new technology that's coming in, the new process that's being asked to be used, the new AI that is now entering the organization. It doesn't focus on the people who need to embody the change and the way they need to change in order to make that happen. And so, 1, 2, and 3 kind of go together, right? What's the worst thing that can happen if we do this transformation? And we kind of work through that. And so what I do, I don't sit down and make a risk register, because a risk register just makes everybody more nervous. It starts kind of inflaming what they're afraid to do. And they typically don't go back to doing anything about it. Fear is not a diagnosis. And if you can only name the danger in the room, you're already painting a picture for not being successful. So what I do from the beginning is I assess what I call MIA, motivation, intention, and attention. It's a psychometric assessment that says, are we ready? And we then have a baseline of understanding, are the humans ready to absorb this change? Are they ready to truly embody what's coming? And we continue to work through that and assess that throughout the program so that everybody is in the right place, in the right frame of mind, and has the right ability to move that forward. And that's done across the entire team or the entire organization. So I flip the wheel on, flip the wheel on, is that what they did? On how we look at change so that it's successful.
Absolutely. You can't always look at it in the linear way. You have to look at it in all different directions. And that's exactly what you do. It's not just, because most change management people come in with that, this is the lane that I'm going to be looking at. There's so many angles right now, especially when you're incorporating a lot of the technology that's happening in the world right now. So cool stuff. Okay. So all of us got it wrong, Shira.
I'm happy about that, quite frankly.
All right. So because you made yours fun, I'm going to switch one of mine to something different. All right. So number 1, is I used to be I was in a model, and it was in a vitamin box in the Philippines, in the front and in the label of the bottle. So I modeled that for years. Actually, I didn't even get paid royalties up until they had me on there for maybe 10 years or more.
Okay.
The next part is like I built a 10 million company in my first year as a startup in the healthcare staffing space. And the third one is that I have placed 125 plus healthcare professionals across 47 hospitals nationwide.
All right. Are we getting anything from anybody? Can I go first?
Yeah.
Nobody's looking yet. I think the lie is number 3. I think you did much more than that. And I
Okay.
know how successful you've been. And I didn't know the model story, but you're beautiful. So of course you were a model in the Philippines.
So I was 10. Yes, absolutely correct. Did anybody else get something?
Nobody said anything.
That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I was 10 years old, and it's a photo shoot for a pharmaceutical company. It's vitamins for kids. I
Like
was in one of the
Flintstone chewables?
box. Right?
Like Flintstone vitamins?
Not vitamins. It was a liquid vitamin. It's called Nutriplex, and it's in the Philippines. And I was in one. There was two of us, so I was in one side of the box, and then inside the actual bottle label itself was my image, and I'm holding a skateboard with my pigtails. But at that time, my father did not negotiate for anything, and so they used me for actually 20 years until I went back after being here in North America. I said, I wonder if I'm still in the bottle. And sure enough, I was, until I said to my uncle, can you do something about that? Because I'm not getting paid royalties for the last 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's true. You're correct. The number 3 is the lie. I have placed hundreds and hundreds of healthcare professionals throughout the country in a lot of different health systems. So just imagine COVID alone itself. One hospital during COVID needed 500 nurses, contract nurses at any given time, and then another 500, so on and so forth. So it's in the thousands that I've placed throughout different health systems. And yes, I have my first year as a startup for a healthcare staffing agency. Fortunately, made $10 million in revenue. So yes,
Amazing.
those are my
Amazing.
2 cents and a lot of things.
It's one of the things too that you and I had in common, and when we were introduced by a mutual friend, that was so interesting that we both came out of staffing, because I had an early staffing background as well. I said to someone recently, I think I've hired or placed over thousands of people in my career, hiring and firing people and finding them jobs. And I'm not going to cry today, so I'm not going to tell the story. We'll save this for another time if we get into the whole staffing thing. But that feeling of getting someone a job is so powerful. It's so meaningful. And I've experienced just even recently on LinkedIn, a number of people that I've known for a long time, all announcing they're looking for jobs. And that's been, I reach out and, I say, what can I do and how can I help? And for anybody who's looking, Heather is an amazing recruiter, phenomenal recruiter. And Heather's going to kill me. She's like, I don't place everything. Don't have everyone call me. But I think that there's something so profound about telling someone you've got a job, right? And I did temporary staffing for part of that time. And that, I will say this, it was really funny. I used to call people and say, do you want to go to work today? They were unemployed. And, decent. They were legal secretaries or paralegals. I was in legal staffing at the time. And so it was a decent living. And, you're not digging ditches. They're like, going to a law firm. And people would say to me, I don't know anybody's name, so I can't say it. I can't go to work today. It affects my unemployment. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. What? Because they wanted to go to the beach instead.
Yeah.
You know what affects your unemployment? Not accepting a job. That's what affects your unemployment.
Exactly, because they'd rather be half lazy, and get their benefits. And
Crazy.
It's crazy. Oh, we've heard all sorts of excuses in the temporary staffing world, and man, in healthcare too. Man, some of these nurses.
I can't believe I'm telling the story. We used to play Temptionary, and at our holiday party, have you ever played Temptionary?
No, tell me about that. We never played Temptionary.
Temptionary, we'd write up why I couldn't go to, it was like the reason why someone couldn't go to work today. Because you would get these, like, the ones I remember the most were the cat ate the Halloween candy, and the entertainment center fell on me. Those were the two that I remembered all the time. So I draw like a stick figure with like the entertainment center. But people came up with there was a TV show for 5 minutes about staffing, about like a temp agency, and I didn't make it, but I thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world. You would have loved it. Anybody in staffing would have loved it because it was just genius.
I can't remember some of the excuses, but they were so the insane excuses. Same thing in the nursing world. Just because they're in healthcare doesn't mean they don't have the same freaking excuses or the craziness that I get called in for the middle of the night because of what the crazy nurse has done while they're on shift. Okay.
We could do 3 days of nonstop talking about how crazy people are.
Oh, absolutely.
And we've kind of gone off the rails here, but I will tell you, like, I think, thank God AI wasn't around then but we're human, right? I mean, I think that kind of speaks back to the fact that we are just human and it doesn't matter. I mean, I once had a guy, I don't know if I should tell this right. I had a guy show up in my office, Harvard educated lawyer, like an amazing human being. And he showed up for an interview and the firm called me and going to a top tier law firm in New York City. And they phoned me and they said, is he okay? And I said, why? And he said, he was wearing like a white button down shirt, but it was so like wrinkled and like worn through that they could see him underneath it. It was almost see-through. And they were like, is he okay? Like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, he was fine 2 days ago. I'm like, he was good. I don't know. But yeah. People are, I mean, that's the best part of that work is the fact that people are nuts and, you just kind of run with it and do that thing, which I think is kind of crazy, but
no, there's some crazy stories. A lot of mine would be the middle of the night calls would be, your nurse just decided to take off and go AWOL on us, but we found her on camera and she is hooking up in the cars with one of our nurses. So you better get in here and walk her out.
Yeah. So, law firm world, it was usually in a conference room or an empty office.
This is like a floor that's not open, that get found by cameras, or they slip in the drugs in their pocket, but they don't know it's being, there's what they audit all these stuff. You have to record yourself. And if 1 ounce of thing is lost, it's measured not incorrectly, they think they can get away with it. They leftovers from the vials, they keep those. So anyway, crazy stuff.
Oh my God. Crazy stuff. All right, we got way off track here, so I want to get us back on track. We normally at this point in the show do our outside story in, but because this one's all about us, we're going to do more of an inside story today. So Daisy, you, my dear, are taking us on this ride to get us started, if you don't mind.
All right. So our outside story. My inside story. All right. So
an inside story out than an outside story in right now.
We're now to my actual TikTok story, right?
Well, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're totally do it. All right. So I like to microlearn, and so this one actually kind of makes me laugh. So what I do is I look at certain things, and so this one thing that I found on TikTok is really a prompt for portrait, to improve my portrait. And so one of those that turn your photo into a professional headshot kind of thing, the ChatGPT, even though ChatGPT, I can prompt myself, but this had a lot more details to it. Where, this is probably going to look fabulous, right? And so I did what most people do. I copied the prompt. I half kind of read it. I saw the parts of it. I skimmed through it basically. I read it, and then I put it in ChatGPT, pasted it, right? And then what I missed was one line that got buried in the middle of all that prompt.
Before I just want to make sure I understand this right. You saw this amazing thing that somebody did, an image someone created, because I just did this the other day too. Saw an image, thought it was super cool, copied the prompt.
Yes.
And stuck it into ChatGPT.
I didn't read the entire thing. I figured, it was he said, do this, copy the prompt, put it on ChatGPT, and it is how it's going to turn out. And he turned out beautifully. And so I did exactly what AI, the influencer did. Yeah,
I love it.
I put it in the machine exactly how I told it, with that one line, and then
what'd you do?
And then I got something here. Let me show you exactly. There was one word that I missed, and this was the image. It came out for me.
Who's that?
It's supposed to be me. the word that I missed was male instead of female. So it described the background and described the outfit. It described, my pose and all that kind of stuff. But there was one word in there that I didn't change.
You're
It
a
said
good
was
looking
male.
man. You no wonder you were a model at 10. Look at you.
And then when
Holy
I
moly.
found it, I went, all right, now this is the real. If you look at the outfit, the pose, and everything, this is the real me. Compared,
So ChatGPT thought that was you if you were a man.
if I was the man, this is me.
So here's what's interesting. You gave it a reference. You had to have given it a
Correct.
reference photo.
Mhm. I gave it my photo, and this is what it gave to me. Not even remotely close to my features. I can, if they had close to my picture, I would look like my brother. Okay, I would be my brother, but this is not even remotely me. I mean, I think I'm sexy, so I'll
You're
take that.
amazing. But does your brother look like this? And where is he?
No, my brother doesn't look like that. My brother looks like me with a short hair.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. Goes to
Mhm.
show we need to pay attention to the prompts that we're using, no matter how.
Absolutely.
Well, mine is not so funny, and it cost me, I don't know, 8 months of stuff that I was doing. So we live stream our show on YouTube. I'm trying to build my YouTube presence because that's what everyone tells me I'm supposed to do. So we do this, and I went and set it all up. I'm not a marketing expert. I thought I was following the directions, and in the settings, it says whether your content is made for kids. And I read it. Is my content made for kids? And I was like, well, sure. Like it could be for kids. Like it's not, there's nothing profane. There's no, we don't say anything awful. It's not true crime. Like it's safe for children, right? That's what I thought it meant. And I said yes. And because I said yes, and like I wasn't able to do other things. So like every time I would go to the YouTube channel, I would say, I'd like want to make posts and build the channel and do all this stuff. And it wouldn't work. And it would loop me around and loop me around and loop me around. And finally, about 2 weeks ago, I got something somewhere. I may have even asked Claude because I couldn't figure it out. And it said, no, that means are children your target audience? And because then it shuts off all of the comments and all the things that want to protect the children. Now, I greatly appreciate the fact that they want to protect the children, but let's be real, that wasn't the point for me, right? My point of it was, and so I just like, I'm in this all the time. Like, how did I just miss that, right? And for months and months and months, I wasn't getting the value out of the tools that I was using and what I wanted it to do. Now it's all fixed. You can all go make loads of comments on the YouTube. But 8 months, couldn't figure out why I couldn't do anything. Makes me crazy.
So it means lessons learned, pay attention. A lot of people with AI copy paste, right? Or rely on the next steps of content without using your brain. They think that, oh, it will think for me. It doesn't work. The only way you can be successful and actually have outcomes for whatever products or service or brand that you are peddling out there is your brain is the source. So just recent example for me is I got banned from one of the LLMs, and my freak out was 2 years of my research was in there, right? Literally, I was not crawling, like I was not like in a fetal position going, oh, my work is gone, oh, my work is gone. At the end of the day, the other LLMs are going, no, your work is not gone.
No.
It's in your brain. You are not a startup. You have monetized on this. You have clients, which means it's working. So now you just gotta, step back a little bit and actually rebuild it faster, because building it from research was harder. Now you just got to rebuild it from your starting point of where it is now. And then it actually went faster and more ideas came up instead of worrying about my data. Was it painful? Absolutely, because it felt like my whole gut was like ripped apart from that one. But the point is, you are the brain, you are the AI, really. You are what AI follows and what it needs to do. So,
well, that's really the entire AI human connection, right? That's the whole point of that. I would say in my case, it really is me drinking my own champagne, right? I embedded the setup in YouTube. I didn't embody what it was supposed to do. I didn't do. I don't know what. I mean, to me, it seems logical, but still, it's such a typical thing, right?
Correct.
Um, I think that we're so quick to get to the next point, to do the thing that we need to do. To I tried to figure it out. I wasn't getting where. Thank goodness I finally. It's like the stupid salt thing. I finally figured it out.
Mhm.
But I think that it's. I think that for me, that's a little bit about kind of how overwhelming a lot of this is, and we just have to take it one bite at a time, right? And know that we're all doing this. We're all in this situation. I'm having this wonderful conversation with a client of mine about getting into AI. Big organization, tens of thousands of employees. They're in that FOMO stage. We need AI. We need AI. And I may have talked about this last season. So the first question I said to him is, okay, great. Why? What's the use case? And that was something they hadn't quite answered yet, right? They're still trying to figure that out. And so I think, what he's doing right and what I'm working with him to do is doing that first. Unlike opening up the YouTube and just checking the boxes and moving on, he's actually going to do it the right way, which is let's figure out the real reason behind what we're doing with this technology. And that's going to get them much farther, much quicker than all the trial and error that I did with the YouTube channel for 8 months, right? And so understanding, and that's not just for AI, it's for anything, right? I saw that in the HCM world, which is, I know I've said this before. People would say to me, does your platform do performance management? And I'd say, why do you need it? Right?
Mhm.
The answer isn't yes or no. The answer is, what are you trying to achieve? What's the intention? This is where I talk about, I built the business cases to show return on investment. With
Mhm.
change embodiment, we do return on intention. What is the thing that drove you to this initiative that made this transformation happen? And is that the same thing throughout the process? Do you still want to do that same thing, need that same thing 2 months, 3 months, 4 months later? In the YouTube scenario, I needed to be able to do comments and posts and do stuff around to build my channel. So it was important to me that I fixed that. If for
Mhm.
some reason I found out that it wasn't, then I could have left it be for children or not children or whatever the, thing is.
Mhm.
But I think that that's really important that we understand what is the intention of what we want to do so that we can drive it to the best success possible. That's critical.
Well, it's too bad. I totally forgot that you do have a product and you have something that you teach and you offer to your clients. And so perhaps a demo of that will be coming pretty soon. Is that something available to us?
We're coming up on the end. Thank you very much. Yes, I do have my change embodiment platform. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'd love to show it to everybody. Of course, if you would like to see it before it's on the podcast, please reach out to me. I would be happy to show it to you. I'm very excited about it. It puts a real face to understanding what it is that we're assessing and how we're assessing it and how we're going to drive success for transformation. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited about it. It's taken me a long time to get to this place. So we will, absolutely.
It's
You
awesome.
also, do we have time for you really quickly to show us yours as well? Because
Oh
don't
yeah,
we?
mine is really almost similar to what we did as a demo, but in an app version. So it's
Okay.
LumaPath, that app, and really you just put in your information, your website, and it gives you a little snippet of, and it's live. I have the three LLMs crawling into,
Okay.
if it's crawlable to your website, into your Perplexity. I'm not sorry, Perplexity is one of the LLMs, ChatGPT, and I believe Gemini was one of them. And so it will give you exactly what we did, but in an app format, all at the same shot. So three of them, and
Oh,
it uses my Rubik's measurement or my scoring for my framework. And so it will identify all your scores, but it will give you a little bit of snippet on the top three, and then the rest, obviously, if you want more of the full picture of what AI sees about you, then you can reach out for me as well. So,
well, so let's do this. I wish we had done that instead of going directly to the LLMs, but
no, that's okay. No.
let's get the to our producer, if she's listening. Let's get that up on a banner or up on a link so we can get everybody the information. If not, we'll post it certainly on LinkedIn, and now I can post on YouTube. So we make sure that you have that as well. And um, And so they can just go, rather than going like,
It's go. It's free. It takes 2 minutes. You just fill out, their information. They hit, check my visibility. It comes up with a little snippet, and you can actually print it, download it, and then you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me, and we can go over it really quickly and tell you exactly where you need to be. So
it's so cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna make sure. I don't know if I don't think Maria's on right now, but I'm gonna definitely make sure that she gets the link as well as this recording so that she can see what's happening at Emo Gold and Silver.
Absolutely.
Do I have anything on from her? I don't think I do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. I should have something on from her.
Okay.
This has been great. I am so excited about our next season. We're already booked up through early October now with some amazing guests who are going to talk about their stories and how they're living in this world and their challenges and how they solve them. And I always say this, if anybody would like to be a guest and talk about what's important to them and how they're contributing to the world, we'd love to have you. It doesn't have to be about AI. It doesn't have to be about change. We love really highlighting people that are doing amazing work in the world. And we've had some terrific conversations that we didn't expect because they weren't about what we do, but I think that's really cool. I was trying to remember the other day about Mario and that funny thing that happened about his name in the jail, but I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember the detail. I have to go back and listen to it.
Well, his name was Mario Adoc, ADOC. So it's almost like an acronym. So he's never really, AI'd himself or even Googled himself. And then I forced him to basically, let's do this because you're going to be in the AI and AEO space. Let's do this. So he did, and then one of the searches was they read a little bit about him on LinkedIn, but very very his past from Amazon, nothing that's current about what his product, right, his tool, and so that's one of the things we wanted to fix. And then let's just look for you, not even your company. And so we did another LLM, and the other LLM said that Mario, that it was from the Atlanta Department of Corrections was what he was referred to. So he needed to fix that. And then there's another Mario, but this time it was his father, didn't realize he was a junior. And so that could create friction when people are just looking for you for what you're known for. So he's decided to put a middle name, or initial. For most people that have a very common name and you have competition, not just in the web itself, but in LinkedIn alone, is an issue when people are looking for you. If you don't claim your name enough for what you want to be known for, you're going to have to add something to another layer to it.
Oh, so that's why people put like a star or a dot or something in their
Correct, to differentiate themselves within that space.
So I am the only Shara
Hendricks. So you have no problem.
Yeah. I have never ever had an issue with that. Ever.
Well, I did not even know there is a Daisy Watkins that exists. So not just me. When I first tried to AI or Google myself, it came up as Daisy Watkins, but it was a cartoon character from DC Comics. And she also happens to be Asian. And going, I have a cartoon counterpart. And so that actually drove me to go, I want the human Daisy Watkins to show up. And so that led my journey to AEO for AI visibility. Because I'm not only a character, I'm a cartoon character. I wanted the human person, the actual human to show up. So there are LLMs that will say, do you want the cartoon or do you want the human? But if you just ask Daisy Watkins, the cartoons always wins before I do. It all depends if you say.
Daisy Watkins, the cartoon character.
Pardon me?
Who is Daisy Watkins, the cartoon character?
She is the student, and she's no big superhero. She just does good in the community, and she has friends. And I don't think they go on a lot of misfits, but it's a DC comic.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Check it out. And so my differentiator is, when I meet somebody for them to look me up, it's like, I'm Daisy Watkins in marketing, and then they can put Daisy Watkins marketing or Daisy Watkins and just type in AEO with it, and then I show up there. Or I say Daisy Watkins from Las Vegas. Then I show up properly with just one word or two words to add to it. That's it.
Right. Like Ammo, Gold, and Silver Florence.
Correct. If you just say ammo and then I didn't even spell it right, but it knew the context around it, or I could have had a typo, right? And
Right.
so, but her entity was strong enough to even in ChatGPT didn't give her the long sentence, but it knew be specific because I think you got something wrong in the way you typed something in here. So it's very smart. It will pull the pieces together. So it already has an opinion about you right now, and you're not even asking it anything.
Right. Right. That's so cool. Well, we are at the hour, which we say this all the time. It goes so quickly. I want to thank you, my friend, for being here for season 2. It's so exciting. I am thrilled about the guests that we have coming and the episodes ahead and all the wonderful things that we're going to talk about and do on this series. And again, like I said, if you want to be a part of it, we would love to have you. Please reach out to us. Let us know in any way that you want to speak to us in all the channels and all that. And now you can post on YouTube because I fixed it because it's not for children. So yeah, thank you as always, my friend. We would love to hear if you follow us on all of the things because that's what you're supposed to say, and check us out on Apple because that's the exciting bit. And yeah, that's what I have this week. What about you, Daisy?
Well, this week I just finished I did a talk in a community, AI community group, and so so much to talk about. I didn't even have enough time to go through all my slides. And so, what else have I going on this week? Just a couple of things. I'm also going to be running. I'm putting a list together. I have a couple people on the waiting list for AEO strategists to want to do what I do. So that's part of one of the plans that I have. So.
That's fantastic. Well, we're excited. We will be coming back to you with more on our workshops. We're very excited about what we're going to be doing in the coming months there. And we just look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you,
everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one, everyone.